most of us are not pursuing our internal condition at the same rate or higher that we are trying to pursue our external condition. We all want to live well, but I don't know if we are driven to be well. Now, hear me. Here's why that's so important, ladies and gentlemen, because at some point, if that root is not healthy, the leaf that we're most concerned about, as long as that leaf looks green, we're good. And that's the objective. I want my leaf, the leaf of my life, to look healthy, to look good. I want to look good. I want to have what I need. That's quality. Nobody's going to be attracted to a brown leaf. So the objective is to make sure that it looks good. But hear me. But at some point, if I'm not constantly digging and making sure the root is healthy, everybody is going to see that leaf, it was green today, but it's brown. It's brown tomorrow. Driving to the studio today and just kind of pondering, thinking about a lot of things. And as I'm listening to a lot of motivational speakers, that's what I spend my time doing. Because of my craft, what I do, my calling, my assignment, I spend more time listening to motivational speakers and preachers. So if I'm not listening to a preacher, I'm listening to a motivational speaker. If I'm not listening to a motivational speaker, I'm listening to a preacher. And one of the things that came up was God knows the truth about who you are. People don't. You know, we can spend a lot of time performing for people. And if you're not careful, you will spend your entire life presenting something that you are not. Truly. And so I want to say this to you, ladies and gentlemen, that I don't know how cognizant or how aware you are of God, but God knows the truth. The Creator knows the truth about who we all are. He knows that you present a work ethic on social media that you're not really. He knows that when you went into the gym, you posted the gym, but you didn't post how long you stayed. He knows that you posted that meal prep that you were about to eat at that moment, but you did not post the honey bun that you ate after that. God knows the truth. God knows how you really look on the inside. He knows that you're not as confident as you come off. He knows that you are not as integral as you present. He knows that you're not as disciplined as you present. And so the question is, how long will you live a life presenting something that you are not? And what we spend a lot of times doing, ladies and gentlemen, is pursuing quality of life over quality of a person. And I want you to understand this. It's what E.T. says, it's leaf versus root. That nobody can see the root of a tree. Everybody can see a leaf. And as long as the leaf is green, we're good. But no one cares how healthy the root is. Now, here's what's so interesting. At some point, the root, the condition of the root is going to reveal how healthy the tree is. There are a lot of things that they look alive, but they're dying internally. I'm telling you what I know. There are a lot of things that are viral, that are popular, but their expiration date is very soon. Now, understand this, the leaf is necessary, but the root is more important. And so I was driving and I was thinking about this particular passage of scripture, and it's 1 Timothy 4:8. And it says, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way. while bodily training is of some value. So what that means is exercise is only of some value. Physical exercise, going to the gym, getting your body right, Timothy says is of some value. But your internal condition, which Timothy says godliness, is of value in every single way. It's internal, or it's external versus internal. Now understand this, ladies and gentlemen. Making sure I look good and making sure I have, and this is what I want you to understand, that making sure you have a dope job is external. But self-control is internal. Making sure I have money is external. But do I listen well is internal. Making sure I have a snatched body is external. But if my attitude stinks, that's internal. So as you kill today, as you pursue building your empire today, I want you to understand this. How much energy do you put in your internal condition versus your external? See, hear me. We need the money. We need the car. We need the house. We need the clothes. We need the education. Y'all, that's all external, and that's good. It's only of some value. It's quality of life, but it does not mean you are a quality person. That's quality of life. We all want to have a quality life. We all want to have the money. I was talking to some of my men yesterday, and I said, don't worry about money. Worry about the prostitute. You're going to get the money. You're too talented. You're too educated. You have drive. You're attractive men. You're going somewhere. Don't worry about the money. The money is going to come. But what you need to be looking out for is your inability to say no to the prostitute. We're talking about Samson. That Samson had the strength, but he slept with the prostitute. So there's something internal in him that cannot resist someone that is unbecoming to who he is. It's something going on inside. So he has strength, he has the attractiveness, but he's dysfunctional on the inside. And so I'm saying to you, don't worry about the money and don't worry about the accomplishments. It's simple principles that will cause you to accomplish every year. Consistency, discipline, self-awareness, all those types of things. Being driven, you know that, and you hear that, and that's the motivational speeches, and that's what's popular now. Go get it. You got to grind for it, and that is of some value. But most of us are not pursuing our internal condition at the same rate or higher that we are trying to pursue our external condition. We all want to live well, but I don't know if we are driven to be well. Now, hear me. Here's why that's so important, ladies and gentlemen, because at some point, if that root is not healthy, the leaf that we're most concerned about, see, as long as that leaf looks green, we're good. As long as that leaf looks green, we're good. And that's the objective. I want my leaf, the leaf of my life, to look healthy, to look good. I want to look good. I want to have what I need. That's quality. Nobody's going to be attracted to a brown leaf. So the objective is to make sure that it looks good. But hear me. But at some point, if I'm not constantly digging and making sure the root is healthy, everybody is going to see that leaf, it was green today, But it's brown. It's brown tomorrow. All right. So here's the meat. Then I got to go. How do I deal? How do I deal with my internal condition? Number one, don't assume that you're perfect. This is what's so interesting. I hear a lot of people saying this. Well, nobody else has told me I have this issue. You know what I'm realizing? And I hope this makes sense. It's not deep. It's very elementary, but it's going to make sense to you. Everything is not a mirror. Everything is not a mirror. For example, you go in your bathroom, you have the sink, you have the toilet, you have the shower, but then you have a mirror. If everything was a mirror, then other things wouldn't get done. Everything is not meant to show you you. And I think what we do is when we make that statement, we are assuming that every person has the capacity, has the confidence, has the maturity, or even have the awareness to show us our own dysfunction. What you have to realize is a lot of times, y'all, that the average person that you are around doesn't have the ability to show you who you are because they were attracted to who you are. So you cannot measure someone bringing to your attention. You cannot measure that against, this is the first time I've heard that. Well, it may be the first time you've heard it because you may have finally found a person that's not driven or not drawn to who you are. They're not drawn to your dysfunction, and or they have a broader scope or a different level of maturity that can help you recognize certain issues in your life. Hear me when I'm saying to you, everyone does not have the ability to be a mirror. There are people who they are just as dysfunctional as you. They don't have the scope. They don't have the bandwidth to be able to even recognize your dysfunction. You know why? Because they are dysfunctional themselves. All right, so understand this. Just because you've never heard something before doesn't mean you don't have that issue. So here's what I want you to understand. If you want to be better, I have a set of instructions for you. Number one, I need you to do a self-assessment. But get this, I need you to research yourself. We do a lot of Google searching about every other topic, but get this, I want you to research yourself. I say this to people all the time, and I want to say it again. I want you to get the closest people to you and demand that they are honest. Honest about what? Tell them to be honest about you. Say this. I have men that they'll say this to me, and don't go easy on me. Tell me the truth. Hear me. If you are confident enough, if you are seriously ready to be better internally, because here's the truth of the matter. I'm realizing that people suck in relationships. People can't, I'm gonna get there in a minute, but people don't do well in life. People can go to work and they can get hired on the job, but they can't keep it. That was a bar. Everybody can get hired on the job, y'all, but very few people, here, don't miss this, very few people can excel on the job. You can get it, but you cannot excel because it takes two different types of characteristics to do both. It takes charisma to get the job, but it takes character to keep it. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do me a favor. I want you, if you ain't scared, if you're serious about being better, I want you to do a self-assessment. And I'm not talking about a self-assessment where you look at yourself because you can't be your own mirror. I want you to get the closest people to you, the people that you know will be honest and they are not biased, and you demand them to tell you the truth about you. Who am I really? What are my issues? What don't you like about me? What do people not like about me? What have you heard? And I'm not asking that to see what people are saying. I'm asking that so I can put all of what I have heard on a piece of paper and look at myself. Number two, understand this. Ask yourself this question. Because people seem to be surprised. But what keeps coming up about you? What keeps coming up about you? Look at the last 6 months, 6 years of your life. What keeps coming? Dad says it like this. If everybody's telling you you have on a red t-shirt, then you probably have on a red t-shirt. What keeps coming up? And it's so interesting that I've met people that they literally forget what keeps coming up. They forget what keeps coming. It's like, I ain't never heard that before. We've been telling you this for the last 8,000 decades. If you want to be better, number two, after you do your self-assessment, then after you ask people, do a self-assessment and say, what have I heard about me that has not changed? It's always this. Now, some of you all have not heard anything because you don't put yourself in a position to be relational enough where people can even, because what it is you are afraid to be a human because you are afraid to have flaws. And so you don't want anybody to see your flaws. But for those of us who are really, really serious about internal growth and health, ask yourself, what keeps coming up about you? Hey, so if people have said this for the last 2 or 3 years, you have a bad attitude, or you have this, or you don't do this, or you don't listen well, or you don't operate in wisdom, or you have communication issues, then number two, that's start there. Number three, sometimes what you don't like about others is the issue that you have. So start looking at what you don't like about others. It's so interesting. People say stuff like, I've heard people say this. I don't like bad customer service. Good. But what they didn't know is they have the worst reputation for interacting with people. Ain't that crazy? So the thing that you, hear me, the thing that you despise may be what people dislike about you. So self-reflection. The thing that you may I don't like when people have attitudes. You have an attitude problem. Number four, look at yourself. Here's my favorite one of the day. Look at yourself from your enemy's perspective. I said, in case you didn't hear me, look at yourself from your enemy's perspective. Well, I didn't mean it like this. No. Stop doing that and put yourself in the person's shoe and start asking yourself, well, if that were me, how would I feel if someone did that, said that, whatever? Pride is always going to defend yourself, your own ego. But humility says, I'm going to see it from someone else's scope. Now, this is motivation. This is a good motivational moment. Because I'm telling you right now, if you don't dig deep inside and figure out and try to get better as a person, you're going to be so talented and you're going to get to the top of the mountain. I guarantee you're not going to be at that top long, because who you are on the inside is going, hear me, it is going to wait until you get to the top. It's going to wait until you become successful, and it's going to embarrass you. Put yourself in. Now, when I say enemy, I'm not talking about a hater. Put yourself in the opposing person's shoe. For example, ladies and gentlemen, put yourself in your girlfriend or boyfriend's shoe. Put yourself in your parents' shoe. Put yourself in your children's shoes. Put yourself in your husband's shoe. No. I know you got a good reason. I know you got a good reason. I'm saying, but after you come off that high horse, put yourself in your wife's shoe. No. What if no, look at it from her perspective. Look at it from her lens. Look at it from her scope. Look at it from his perspective. Look at it from his lens. Look at it from his scope. Put yourself in the member's shoe. Put yourself in the pastor. Hear me. And arrogance Arrogance does not allow you to do that. No. I know you're the leader, but put yourself in the member's shoe. No, I know you're the boss. Put yourself in the employee's shoe. Put yourself in the employer's shoe. Well, I just feel like ABC, but ask yourself, what does it take? What does it take for 10 people to come in late every day? If you got fired, don't talk about they didn't do this and that. No, put yourself in their shoe. What adjustments does my supervisor have to make every time I'm late? So no wonder I got fired. Every time I drop the ball, every time I don't follow through, what position does that put somebody else in? Every time I don't keep my word, what position does that put? Number 5, understand this, ladies and gentlemen, you are not your own mirror. And a lot of us, when you hear me, if you can't do number 1, you're full of arrogance and you're full of pride. If you're trying to do your own work, you're limited. Yeah, you can do a personal evaluation, A, B, C, and D, but I'll give it to you like this. You technically don't know how long that booger was in your nose. You know, if somebody says, hey, clean your nose, you got something in your nose. You don't know how long it was there. But as soon as you got in front of someone or got in front of a mirror, you were able to fix the problem. And so a lot of us are delaying health because we're relying on ourselves. Did that make sense? I don't know how long that was in my eye, but I do know as soon as I got in front of a mirror or as soon as I got in front of a person, I was able to fix the problem. Because you cannot be your own mirror. Number 6, deal with pride. Because what you may see will be ugly. You're gonna be butthurt. It's gonna be uncomfortable to find out. Hear me. Why do I say deal with pride? Because if you have the balls enough to call people and do that assessment and say, tell me about myself, pride is going to want to defend. I ain't calling to argue. I'm not calling to defend. I'm not calling to tell you why I did that. I'm calling to self-assess. I'm calling to collect data so I can come to a conclusion about me. Number 7, ask for help. You can't do it by yourself. What I mean by that is this: get someone involved that's more mature. And hear me, and just because the person that brought things to your attention, it does not mean that they can help you. It just means that they can bring it to your attention. Find people that you are humble enough to involve in your personal, hear me. It's so interesting to me. It's so interesting that I say this all the time. We introduce ourselves based upon what we can do, not how broken we are. You got to recognize you got to recognize business partners and you got to recognize accountability partners. You got to recognize, hey, this is someone I can go into business with, I can do work with, ABC, I can have fun with, but this person right here, I ain't trying to do none of that. Their sole reason for existing in my life is to help me be better. Number last, if you are serious about your internal growth, be consistent. Meaning this, I see this all the time, and it's so interesting. People will reach out for mentorship, but never call, never set up meetings. I ain't calling you. You know why? Because we can be on this high. I'm gonna try to get better, but it takes consistency. Hear me. We will. Do you see how dedicated we are to external? You are going to that gym 3 to 4 times a week. You are going to get your hair done. You're going to get your hair cut. You're going to get your lashes. You're going to wash your car. But once every blue moon, you may ask a question about how you can be better. You want to know why a lot of people don't grow? Because it's hard looking at your weaknesses every single day with the objective to get better. It's difficult. It's difficult being consistent. It's difficult having someone look at you and measure you and say, work on this, work on that, work on. It's hard. It's harder working on the internal. It's really easy working on the external. I mean, it's clear. It's clear. Go to work, keep grinding, study, pass the test, A, B, C, and D. I get a tangible degree, tangible result. Watch this. And all of that matters until you look up and you've lost friendships, lost relationships, lost jobs. I don't care how many degrees you have. Your character's going, that degree didn't, get this, that degree somehow didn't tell you to be on time, to have a work ethic when you get the job. That money you got, that promotion you got, it was still something in you that was so undisciplined. You spent every dime you had. You see, we do a lot of work trying to get the external things. We do very limited work on our internal condition. If you want to have, hear this, if you want to have a fruitful life, as much as you grind for the external, grind for the internal. Welcome to Band with y'all.